I had just arrived in Taiwan on a mission to find one of the world's rarest shark species, the megamouth. Like, literally just arrived and gone for dinner with the fisher who'd be helping me and his wife to discuss the plan, when I checked my emails and saw I had an invitation to go on Springwatch to talk about British sharks. This obviously wasn't an offer I could turn down, so I now had 3 weeks to find a megamouth and make it back to UK to be on Springwatch. So what is a megamouth? It's a large shark that's a filter feeder and lives in the deep sea, but it comes to shallower waters at night. It's really rare, with less than 300 reported sightings, and most of these are dead specimens, either stranded on shore or caught by fishers. The majority of these catches are from Taiwan. So what am I doing? Well, megamouths caught in Taiwan now have to be released, and I'm investigating issues with this policy for a documentary. My project's in collaboration with the Shark Lab in Taiwan, so joining me is a megamouth scientist, Debbie. So the plan was, if we'd find a megamouth, we'd give an acoustic tag and take a tissue sample to help with the limited knowledge on this species' biology. So, the next day me and Debbie went to port. We were going out on a different captain's boat with the same gear type as my main captain, large mesh drift net, which is used to catch large pelagic species. Once our permit was checked, we headed out to sea. The boat owner helped us with some DIY for the tag, and I interviewed the captain about how he was the first to catch a megamouth in Taiwan. He's able to tell whether the current is suitable for a megamouth just by looking at the surface. So we set the net and waited. It was so pretty, and we saw lots of dolphins. We eventually pulled up the net, and no megamouth. An absolutely giant sharp-tailed molar though, so noodles and beer and back to port. So the day after next, Debbie and I went out again on the same boat. There was more dolphins and it was such a beautiful evening at sea, but again, no megamouth. A giant oarfish though, then noodles and back to port. Debbie had to go do some other shark work, so 3 days later the captain's wife picked me up and I went out on the same boat alone, which was really nice because it gave me a chance to make friends with the crew. There was a beautiful sunset as they were setting the net and the ocean looked amazing this night, but again, no megamouth. An oceanic manta ray though, so noodles and back to port. It was bad weather for several days, so nearly a week later the captain's wife picked me up and I went out again alone. There'd been earthquakes these days and the captain was worried it would affect the fishing. He was trying so hard to find the right current. And again, this was a really, really nice day at sea with the crew.
I know!
Are you happy?
But when we pulled up the net, no megamouth and nothing else, so noodles and back to port. I now had a week until I was meant to be back in the UK and I hadn't found a megamouth, so I met up with the main captain and his wife and explained I had to go in a week for a TV thing in England, and it was decided I'll go out on his boat this week. The plan was to go out the next day, but it was bad weather, so his wife took me on a girls' day out to go get my hair cut. Clearly I was not looking TV ready, and also to go and get my nails done, and yes, having acrylics did make the rest of my work really difficult. So the next day I went out on this other boat with Debbie again and also Zola, an amazing photographer. So it was the perfect day to see a megamouth. I'd been working my remote 9 to 5 during all of this, and today I had to take a call from the boat. Then it was time to set the net. And I did go and film a tour of the boat, but it kind of all sounds like this.
This is the GPS that you put on the net so you can find it again. I'm feeling hopeful, mainly because I have to be hopeful. Well, okay, current. The sea's looking pretty megamouthy.
Then we did things like play our favourite songs for good luck. And we were just hoping and praying.
We have to trust him.
So we started taking up the net, but there was no megamouth. There was some dolphins though. And then I was told this.
They say outside will be better.
So started taking in the second net, but yeah, we were all kind of sat around not feeling particularly hopeful. And then out of nowhere, a big female megamouth.
She's so happy now.
So we got into the water as quickly as possible, tagged and released her and filmed it. And we were celebrating when there was a second megamouth in the net, a smaller male. So tagged and released him too. Here's the footage taken by the captain on my camera. And then Debbie gave me a shark book as a goodbye present because it's the last time I'd be seeing her. So noodles and back to port, but much happier. So me and Zola decided to try again the next day. We were looking through all the footage, but when it got to the point of testing the current, we knew the ocean wasn't megamouthy today. The current was just too strong, so they only set one net. The current was too strong, so we just had one net, one chance. And when we took it up, there was no megamouth. There was bad weather for a day, and so I was left with one last day that I could go to sea. The captain's wife picked me up and we were sad because this was it. I was heading out with Zola, and yeah, as they were setting the net, I was so nervous.
And I'm
So we set the net and the conditions were perfect. Like the current, the wind, the water temperature, the nets were absolutely perfect, straight lines. So we watched the new Paris shark film to distract us while we were waiting. And yeah, basically the captain said that if these conditions don't get a megamouth, nothing will. So we started to take up the net and it got a giant oarfish, and yeah, these things feel really, really weird to touch. It also got this teeny little crab, but yeah, it got into almost the very, very end of the second net. Like, I mean, we had like half an hour to go, and yeah, there was no megamouth. So usually I watch the net the entire time it's coming up, but by this point I just couldn't. I was sat in the captain's room, we all were, and I got a message from the captain's wife asking me if I'd seen it, and I said not yet, and she said you'll be lucky. And guess what happened a few minutes later? A mega big female megamouth.
So this is how close we are to the end of the line.
Oh yeah! Oh my god! Oh yeah!
So I got into the water and cut her free. And then dove down to say a little hello. And yeah, this moment's burned into my mind, looking eye to eye with the megamouth. They have the most beautiful big brown eyes. So amazing. So yeah, we were so happy. His wife told me I'm the god of luck. I agree. We had some watermelon, and then I absolutely zonked out on the ride back to port. And yeah, the megamouth part of the mission was complete. The next day I went to see a woman who'd helped me with my megamouth wish, and we made some new wishes, and she gave me this necklace to help with them. Then I met up with Zola at this ocean-themed cafe, such a cool place.
Hammerhead, Mintery.
And we went through our footage, and then I had dinner at her place, and her cats are so cute. And we watched Seaspiracy. And so this project was about the megamouth, but I really reflected because I had seen and learnt a lot whilst on those fishing boats about the struggles of fishers, the problem of bycatch, and how conservation policies for fisheries can actually be effective. Then it was a train ride up to the capital, flight out of Taiwan, back to the UK, train ride down to where I live in Cornwall, and it was a beautiful day, so I went for a snorkel and I saw this spider crab, but it's going to be hard to be impressed by anything in the ocean now. Got up, tried and failed to look nice.
Oh, I look so ugly. I look stupid. Okay, let's bounce.
Got into my seagull poo covered car, drove to RSP Beyond, walked up to the site, somehow ended up in their like team photo within a minute of arriving. Then I had a tour of the site and of all the props and everything, which was so cool. Then I got to watch it behind the scenes. And then...
It gives me great pleasure to welcome on a special guest tonight, and she's a bit of an expert in marine life. Please put your hands together for Bea!
And you can see the curly tendrils on this help it attach to seaweed to keep it safe whilst the baby shark develops.
And there we go. My super simple mission was complete.